So guys, welcome to another video where we will talk about basic ZBrush stuff, which is masks. Masks are kind of the same as in other programs like Photoshop. When you mask an area and you try to move or delete or whatever, and in this case we don't have delete, but if you try to do something, you can do it around the mask. The mask does not get touched. So, how to mask? I told you it's with Control key. First, we can mask in the object. In the object, if we start with Control on the object, you see I'm pressing Control key and it's going to mask. So, I'm holding Control key and I'm just drawing a mask. I can draw a mask. When I press Control Alt though, so I'm including Alt key, and you see this minus sign before the mask, you know. Minus is plus because I'm only with Control, and then minus Control Alt. And now we can just extract from the mask, subtract more maybe, yeah. So we can basically erase the mask where we want. The other thing we can do is start the mask outside the object itself, and we're making this kind of selection. This selection can be moved while we are making it. So I'm now holding Control, holding my tablet, and I start holding spacebar. So Control spacebar and dragging, and you can drag your selection and just place it here, for example. Then Control Alt spacebar, which is a little bit difficult, but Control drag, then Alt to remove mask, and then spacebar, and yes. So spacebar basically is moving the selection. This, or even this selection, we can move with spacebar. But for this selection we will talk later. For now, let's turn out to masks. So what I can see here is that this area here is alone by itself, and then the chest is very much smaller. In our case, it's not like that. So what can I show you is how to do this. So first I will mask exactly what I want to stay, and then I will shrink the rest, and I will show you how it's done. So in order to mask here, because I can see it, I will press this solo button here. I use it often, but it's a good thing that it's there by default, so it's nothing to worry about. I'm masking this area, and let's see how the design will be from the back. The thing is that from the back we don't have a design, but we can kind of manage to think of something. Probably, we'll see. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I would like it to be something like this. Okay, and now while we were on mask, now I will go to 4, which is move brush, and if I start moving like this, you see it's not very good. So I will just increase my brush with the bracket keys, or from here, or if you press S you can increase it, but I like to increase it with the bracket keys because I've used that in Photoshop way before I learned ZBrush, so it's kind of second nature to me. And I'm just moving with very big brush this thing inwards so it's smaller, and that's okay. We can then invert the mask. So now if I want to work on the upper side, I will just just click, not drag, just click outside the object. So click, and yeah. Maybe you're wondering what will happen if we Control click in the object, but just click. We will feather the mask. So this kind of this points that the mask is meeting non-mask area, so the border will be feathered. Let's see. So Control and click, 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 click. It's feathering. I'll Control Z a few times. Control Alt and click will sharpen the mask. So you know, almost everything in ZBrush is with Control, Shift and Alt, so it's not that difficult. Control, Alt, Shift, and dragging or clicking. You just have to know what to expect from ZBrush. And it's pretty good. So, next thing we want to do is work on this area. We can just do this and this and this. And I think we have touched most of the things about masks. So you may notice that for now we just had subtool menu and the geometry menu and only Dynamesh, and that's it. So to start sculpting, you don't need too much menus. You need just to know some things, just some stuff. So don't be scared, don't be intimidated by ZBrush, because ZBrush has a lot of menus, a lot of things. It has stencil, it has stroke, it has tool, the tool, yeah, this is our menu, transform, zip plugin, and zip plugin has a lot of things in it. We are using one of these things, you know, from zip plugin. We are using from Subtool Master, mirror. Where is this? Mirror. It's here. But it's the only thing I use from there. So there are most of the things that I use, or most of the things that you will need, are here now in our interface. The brushes here, most used brushes, and the light here that we will need maybe in the end, and everything like this. So what I like to do now is make sure this is big enough here. Okay. And now I will show you, because the masks we already done it. So how to remove a mask completely? We can do this with Control Alt drag and just disable the mask, or we can Control drag outside the object. Exact thing that we're doing with the Dynamesh. We can Control drag. So if we Control drag now without a mask, there's no mask. If we now Control drag, it will make a Dynamesh, you know. It will Dynamesh it. You can see Dynamesh. And yeah, we have a good hole in. Very cool. So, but if you have a mask and Control drag once, it will remove the mask, and the next Control drag will Dynamesh. So you have to bear it in mind. What I want to do is separate this part in order to be a separate part. Very cool. So I will show you now something that I used recently, the last like 3 years maybe, and it allows me to work only in ZBrush, not going to Max and everything, for hard surface modeling, and it's pretty good. But bear with me here. We will do it a lot of times, maybe a couple of times here. So if you don't understand it now, although I will explain it very carefully, it's not a problem. I will explain it also some other time. So we're going to mask here. So Control drag and just make a mask. But try to avoid the corners. So go near the corners, but not too near. Try to avoid them. It's not a problem to go a little bit inwards, but the thing is that we need more flat area. We don't need to go like this. It will be awful. So we do this, and then we just mask everything. If you want to mask bigger, you just Alt click and then release Alt, and the model will go very much away from you, and then you'll be able to control and drag to mask a big area. But you don't have to control that way, so don't go too far. Don't go too far. Okay, so this way we don't need to increase our brush size. We need just to get away from the model. And that's the good thing about not using the dynamic mode for brushes. Very cool. Again, I'm using pen tablet. So if someone asks, it's Intuos, I think 4. Yeah, Intuos 4, I think I'm using. Nowadays, the modern Intuos is, I think, 8 or 7, I'm not sure. So, now, we want to extract this, and I will show you how. So, in the subtool menu, in the bottom, we have this extract option, in the very bottom of the menu. So, extracting is pretty easy. You just press extract and you will see that we have some mesh here. But if we rotate, it will disappear. Extracting has to be accepted. So it's just a preview here. If you move, it will disappear. So extract and then accept. And now you see we have this mesh and we are on it. It's masked a little bit and everything. So I will show you now the polygroups in ZBrush. If we turn on the polyframe, you will see, let's get rid of the mask by just making a selection and control. You will see that we have one group, one color here, one color here, which is the border, which is the thickness, and one inside. Most of the time, the inside color is different from the outside color. Now it's not, but I think there are different polygroups. How we can see if they are really different polygroups? We can do this. Control-Shift, click. When you Control-Shift-click on a group, it will isolate that polygroup. So, Control-Shift, click. And you see that now we have only this group. Since this is only one-sided polygons, we cannot see their other side. We have a remedy for that. We can press double here and they will be visible, but let's don't do it now. So now we're isolating only this polygroup and the others are hidden from this subtool here. We can see them, only them, by Control-Shift dragging outside here, and we will see the other polygroups that are inside and the thickness. Now we can Control-Shift click and we will hide also the thickness, and the thickness will be now hidden along with the top layer, top polygroup, and we can even make this different color polygroup. So now, bear with me, we'll go to, again, the tool menu, of course, but down to polygroups here, polygroups. So you have to find it. It's between visibility and contact. And contact I haven't used ever in my life. I didn't know that this existed, but whatever. Polygroups, and then just auto group, and it will be green. And now if we show everything by Control-Shift click, just click, we have shown everything, and now they're obviously different polygroups. Although they were before, now they are obviously polygroups. So don't do the mistake to make Dynamesh. From now on, we'll not use Dynamesh for this particular mesh, for this subtool. So what we want to do, we want to isolate Control-Shift click. So Control-Shift is basically working with polygroups, hiding parts of the mesh and stuff. For example, Control-Shift dragging, we can hide parts of the mesh that we haven't touched, and now we have this. This is very useful. We can mask this, for example, and then Control-Shift click to show everything, and we have this mask, which is useful sometimes. But what we want to do is Control-Shift click, and now we have this. Then we will delete the hidden parts. So everything else will be deleted when we press del hidden, which is, let me see, where is del hidden? If it's merge split, I'm not sure where exactly is del hidden. Probably it's in modified topology. No, del hidden. Yeah, it's here. It's very much hidden, this button, del hidden, and I'm using it all the time. So I have it in this menu, and it's here, del hidden. So del hidden, and now we have only this. No matter how much we control click here, nothing else will appear, but we need only this. Now we want to use Z-Remesher. Z-Remesher will make this a very much more manageable topology, low poly, so we can easily make it the shape we want. So we go to Z-Remesher and we can Z-Remesh, but we don't want to Z-Remesh. From this menu here, which is pretty big, I use only Z-Remesher and target polygon count. So I have it here, Z-Remesher, target polygon count, sometimes keep groups and detect edges, but not quite much. So I have them here, I rarely use them. So Z-Remesher is here. You notice that we don't use everything in ZBrush in every menu. We're using just few things from here, few from there, and most of them I have just here in this menu, or here, which is good. So now we go to target polygon count, the lowest possible, which is 0.1, and zero mesh. And now we wait a little bit. It will not be long, I think. And we have this. And this is the low poly I promised you. This is the low poly version of the mesh. It's pretty good to work with low poly because when we start, for example, to make a pose or something, for this character I'm not sure we will make, but maybe we will, why not? Yeah, it's pretty good. So when we start making something, we'll have a low poly version, and when you're moving around and doing it, it's very much easy to have this low poly. And I recommend it. Also, we can zero mesh it again and again. How many times we want, doesn't matter. It will be smoother and smoother. So now we'll press this and we'll see what we have here. Yeah, solo without solo. Yeah, we have just to be everything visible, and we can just work it out. I see this is pretty narrow, and the helmet is a bit going like this. I think this is fine, and this could be even narrower here. So let's do this. And I think this is good, but this thing here I don't think we need. Because here will be his arm, and it's impossible to have armor there. So what we can do is, again, hide part of the geometry and then del hidden. That's how we work. So to hide parts of the geometry, we press Ctrl Shift and Alt, and you see red because we are hiding. So I will hide this, and then this, and then this. So be very careful from which direction you are hiding, because, for example, I want to hide this, and I'm not very careful, and I'm just hiding it like this. Yeah, it's hidden, but look from the back. Yeah, nothing. But let's see again. Like this. Hide it. And now, you see? So be careful how you hide it. So that's why I do this, because I know that below this, there are no polygons. And I cannot hide them by accident. The back polygons. So I'm just working here with the move brush, with the smooth brush, a little bit, and just making this work. So I think we have managed to make those things. I will explain again, maybe not that detailed explanation I will make, how we work with polygroups, but every time I will show you, I will tell you the shortcuts and the things you have to press. So don't worry if you didn't get it. So just for the end, we will make those arms by pressing B to go to the brushes, curve tool brush. Now make my brush size a little smaller and do this. And you notice it's fine, and I will accept it by just clicking here, and it will be fine. Of course, now you see that this what I hidden is not hidden, and it's not gone. So what we can do first, we made the hands in the same subtool, the arms, with this. So we need to separate them. Split hidden, split unmasked, because it's masked. So always split unmasked, for example. Yeah, this is here. So I will solo it, and again I will hide this very easily, and I will check out if everything is okay. It's okay. So now I will del hidden again, and now it's good. Now it's fine. We'll make thickness in some of the next videos, because we have to say goodbye for now. But in some of the next videos we will make thickness for this part, and I will show you how to work with the Z modeler brush, but that will be some other time. For now, let's say goodbye, and in the next video probably we will make these shoulders, or at least kind of start to make them. They are a very important part. They are making a lot of the silhouette, so we have to be careful there. And also one thing, when you are extracting something like we did, the mesh you are extracting from remains masked. So be careful with that. We can unmask by just click dragging, control dragging, and we are okay. And now, see you in the next video, of course.